بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Assalamu alaikum. Today is Tuesday, 8th of June 2021. And in our series, Reflections on the Quran, this is broadcast number 218. And these days we've been looking at chapter 2, Al-Baqarah, verse 87. And this is the third broadcast in that series. Before we start with that, I just want to remind you that Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib, rahmatullah alayh, he created the Lahore Ahmadiyya community. And he taught us that although other people bring a prophet after the Holy Prophet Muhammad, some bring an old prophet, some bring a new prophet, but the Holy Quran says that the Holy Prophet Muhammad was Khatamun Nabiyyi. And the Holy Prophet himself explained this verse by saying, La Nabi Abad, there is no prophet after me. So that means now no prophet can come, whether it is an old prophet or a new one. Prophethood has come to an end. And that is why Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad explained that the Holy Prophet said that when reform is needed, Mujaddadeen will come. God will raise Mujaddadeen, reformers, to guide Muslims. And he claimed that he was one such Mujaddid, but his distinction was that the Holy Prophet Muhammad had used the words Mahdi and Messiah for him. That was his distinction. Now, and this is what was written on his tombstone. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, chief of Qadian, Mujaddad of the 14th century. And he further taught us that yes, there are differences like this one between Muslims. But it is wrong for people to say that a person who recites the kalima is a kafir or heretic. And he pointed to the hadith of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, in which the Holy Prophet says that if one reciter of the kalima says to another reciter that you are a heretic, you are a kafir, then it is the person saying so who is the heretic. He also said that although people say that some verses of the Holy Quran, there are some verses which were revealed to the Holy Prophet are missing from the Holy Quran, such as some people say Ayah Rajam, some people say Surah Walayat, and so on. But he, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib, rahmatullah alayhi, he said that all prophetic revelation that the Holy Prophet Muhammad received is with us in the form of the Holy Quran. Nothing has been left out. In the same way, people, they're fond of saying that some verses of the Holy Quran are abrogated, have been cancelled. But Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said that no, Quran is complete and it is perfect. None of its verses were ever abrogated or ever shall be abrogated. And he taught us that jihad is the duty of every Muslim. But jihad as defined by the Holy Prophet Muhammad, not as defined by some Maulvi somewhere. And the Holy Prophet Muhammad said that he was while returning from a battle, he said that we're returning from the minor struggle, from the minor jihad to the major jihad. And then went on to explain that the major jihad, is a struggle to purify yourself, to get rid of your own negative feelings, ideas, anger, jealousy, hatred, greed, lying, unjustly supporting your relatives, and so on and so forth. So let us turn to today's topic. As I said, it is chapter 2, Al-Baqarah, verse 87. And this is the third broadcast in that. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولقد آتينا موسى الكتاب وقفينا من بعده بالرسل وآتينا عيسى ابن مريم البينات وأيدناه بروح القدس أفكلما جاءكم رسول بما لا تهوى أنفسكم استكبرتم ففريقا كذبتم وفريقا تقتلون. And we indeed gave Moses the book, and we sent messengers after him, one after another. And we gave Jesus, son of Mary, clear arguments and strengthened him with the Holy Spirit. Is it then that whenever there came to you a messenger with what your souls desired not, you were arrogant, and some you gave the lie, some you gave the lie to, and others you would slay. And today we are going to look at, we did the first phrase, we finished the first phrase yesterday. So we are now moving on to va ataina. Va is obviously, it means and. Connecting word, so ataina. So let us look at the, if I can find my notes and they're in the right order, Generally not, because as I give the Urdu lecture, they get upside down. So the triliteral consonant root of this word is Hamza, Pa, Ya. And it appears in 6 different derived forms in the Holy Quran. And it appears 271 times as the verb Ata, and 264 times as the verb Ata. And then, you can see that takes care of most of them. Chapter 2, verse 23. Fa, tu bi surati. Verse 25. Wa, tu bihi mutashabiha. They will be given something similar. So, Ya'ti Allahu bi amri. That's chapter 2, verse 109. Wala in atayta allazina. That is chapter 2, verse 145. And so on. And as I said, it occurs a lot of times. There are lots of examples. وَمَا يَأْتِيهِم مِّن رَسُولٍ وَآتَيْنَاكَ بِالْحَقِّ وَإِنَّا لَصَادِقُونَ Ataya Amrullah. This is verse 16. Sorry, this is chapter 16, verse 1. And so on. There are many other examples. As I said, the next one, to give. So we have وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ. Or وَإِذْ آتَيْنَا مُوسَى الْكِتَابَ وَآتَيْنَا عِيسَى ابْنَ مَرْيَمَ الْبَيِّنَاتِ وَأَيَّدْنَاهُ بِرُوحِ الْقُدُسِ. The verse that I've just read out. So you can see that it's in the sense of giving, but giving of zakat and giving of book to Moses and so on. Again, this is not just sort of used once in the sense of zakat. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَمَا تُقَدَّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُمْ. Chapter 2, verse 110. Giving of zakat. وَمَا أُوتِيَ النَّبِيُّونَ مِنْ رَبِّهِمْ لَا نُفَرِّقُ بَيْنَ أَحَدٍ مِّنْهُمْ. Chapter 2, verse 136. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ. Chapter 2, verse 201. Often recited prayer in our salat. So, and so on. Because I copied all the verses where it is, because I have to scroll down quite a lot before I get to the next word. وَكُلُّهُمْ آتِيهِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ فَرْدًا. Chapter 19, verse 95 will come to him. إِنَّ السَّاعَةَ آتِيَةٌ أَكَادُ, etc. Chapter 20, verse 15 will be coming. So let us have a quick look at the meanings. So, al-ityan. So that means to receive something, to get something, or something comes. But the condition is it happens with ease. There are no obstacles, there are no difficulties, etc. This is why the same word is used for a flood. If that water comes easily, having overcome all the obstacles and so on. Now, ityan means to come, to arrive. But it could be a person, okay? Or it could be a command. Or it could be that the law or the rules are implemented in a place. So if you look at something in Atakum Azabullahi aw Atatkumus Sa'atu, chapter 6, verse 40. If God's punishment comes, Azabullah, aw Atatkumus Sa'atu. So we are talking about the hour. The hour comes. So that means, what does it mean? Of course, the last day, the judgment day. So that's judgment day. Saw the hour. You must have noticed that in if you read the English translation of the Holy Quran, that it's written with a capital H. Now, talking about order and so on, commands coming. Waja'a Wabuka, chapter 6, verse 40. So that doesn't mean that literally God himself comes, but his commands are implemented. فَأَتَى اللَّهُ بُنْيَانَهُمْ مِنَ الْقَوَائِدِ, chapter 16, verse 22. The rules and regulations. God comes. And here, coming of God means that his rules, his law has been, which bears a lot of crop. So because, why? Because a lot of crops come from it. So arda kasiratal itai, that land. Okay. Now Sometimes there are a lot of discussions between scholars about small, tiny points, but I just skip them because for people, the idea is to give them an understanding of how Arabic words are used in different places in the Holy Quran. For example, وَأَتُوا بِهِ مُتَشَابِهًا, chapter 2, verse 25. We've already had this. And they'll be given fruits, but they will be mutashabiha. They'll resemble what they've already had. وَآتَيْنَاهُمْ مُلْكًا عَظِيمًا, chapter 4, verse 54. And granted them a great country. So, let us see what else we can find. Now, there's no point in the note, reading out the notes from a different dictionary, which are exactly the same as what I've already said. So, okay, we have two words which are similar. One is ita, the other one is iya, or. First one is hamza, ya, pa. The other one is hamza, ghain, pa. This is why if you try and learn to recite the Quran properly, the Qaris make so much fuss about pronouncing these words correctly, whether it is ta or ta, because it makes a lot of difference. I'll give you a silly example. Uh, there's a word that's kalb. That means a dog, the Arabic word. And then you have the word qalb, where qa comes from the throat. And that means the heart. Now, if you want a doctor, there's a lot of difference between kalb doctor, the dog doctor, and qalb doctor, a heart specialist. If you had a heart attack, you don't want to be taken to a veterinarian who treats dogs. And I was guilty of this as well earlier on, take this lightly and say, oh, it doesn't matter. It does matter. So, but I was going to actually say something else. Oh yes, I was talking about these two words. Now, ita, as I said to you, it means, for example, in terms of flood, water that flows freely without obstacle and so on. So, this word ita is used for zakat. Why? Because it is it should be given. What should be given is what can be given easily. So that's important to remember. That is why God has used this word ita, which has ease with it. You don't have to put yourself in difficulty to give that. And the other difference is that in iya, pa, the one who's giving has a higher status than the one receiving. In terms of ordinary money, you know, um, a rich man will donate something to a poor person. Money wise, maybe even in society, his station is higher because he's, I don't know, businessman or whatever he is. So that's iqta with ain and ta. That the person giving has a higher status. But in word ita, that is not the case. The receiver may, the person receiving may be equal to or even lower than status than the person giving. Think of a big businessman. He's got a Rolls Royce, he's got an 8-bedroom mansion, and his business is in trouble, and he needs a loan. So he goes to his bank manager or whoever it is. That bank manager may only live in a 3-bedroom or 4-bedroom semi-detached or detached house. He may drive, I don't know, some ordinary car. And the man with an 8-bed mansion who drives a Rolls Royce is going to this bank manager and asking for his help. So the one in a higher position, monetary, we talk about in terms of money, is seeking help and getting help from the one who, on the face of it, has a lower position. And then we have other things. In the Urdu broadcast, I was talking about a organ transplant. And this actually happens. The example I gave in the Urdu broadcast was supposing the president of a country wants a kidney transplant, and the only kidney suitable for him is the one that his security guard has. They do tissue typing and tissue matching and all this kind of thing, and they find that security guard, his tissues match the president. Now, in terms of political status, management status, the security guard may be 100 stages below the president. But if he gives that kidney to the president, what's happening is that the person with a higher status is getting something from a person with a lower status. And then there's another difference between ita and iqta. That in ita is that whatever is being given gets to the person for whom it's intended. In some way. So we have clean air and clean water and so on, and that gets to everyone. You don't have to do anything. You just breathe in. Or in the days of old, we used to just go to the village well or the well in your backyard and just draw the water out. But the other word, or, that means that what is being given may not necessarily get to the person, may not necessarily get to the person. Because in the first case, no effort is involved. And in the second case, effort is involved. In the first case, you just breathe in and the air is there. Or as I said, you go and get water. Okay, there is a bit of effort, but not much. But there are other things which are given, and unless you actually struggle and strive, you don't get the benefit from them. So it's as if you didn't get it. If you are given intelligence and you don't use it, you use your intelligence, you have to gain knowledge and so on. To make decisions, you need information and base your decision on that information. So you have to struggle. You have to learn. And then you take benefit of what God has given. If you don't, then what? That's it. Someone may be very strong, may be very athletic, but unless they practice, they're not going to win the Gold Cup at Wimbledon. So, in use of the second word, there is something there, but it requires you to struggle to attain it, and then use it for your benefit. So there are other meanings of this word as well, but I don't have time to go into them now. We are at the end of our broadcast time. So I take my leave of you with the prayers that whoever you are and wherever you are, may Allah keep all of you safe and sound and free from harm. Assalamu alaikum. Khuda Hafiz. Goodbye.